Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where last episode we got a kingdom title and awkwardness ensued. For some reason, the game then decided to give most of our territory, including most of the territory de jure held by our kingdom title, to our father. I don't know why. It just did. And then it gave our capital region to our liege. For reasons. We still hold we held the duchy title, but our liege destroyed it. So that's, very awkward. We can't easily become our father's primary heir either. Now, I was just looking at our situation here as far as taking over the Byzantine Empire and getting everything back that way, which I think would be the best way to go. I was looking at our influence of candidacy, and this is saying that we can go up to 439. I tried pressing this button, and it ate all of the influence and didn't actually give us any more. So I think I need to let that update. So let's proceed here and see what ends up happening with that. So at this point, we need a chancellor. That would be like this guy, a steward, a marshal, and a spy master. That would be, yeah, you're fine for now. And then you would be the spy master. Okay. So we're making our way back. I wonder if this happened because we were traveling when we did it. I don't know. That's weird. We lost some gold and some prestige. Okay, sure. So we're traveling to Jerusalem, but this isn't our territory, and that's going to be mildly awkward. So that's understood. We need to get things put somewhat back together. Hang on. He just granted out Tiberius. So we want to do something about this. Specifically, what we want to do is... the option is not here. That's fascinating. Okay, so we need to finish up our travel and take this governance issue. That's mission number 1. So we've arrived, but now we're heading back to our capital. There we go. Once we arrive there, I want to start up this scheme. Okay, so we've arrived now. We want to... do we not currently have the ability to do boundary disputes? We do. But not with this guy, I guess. Odd. I wonder why boundary dispute isn't here. Interesting. Well, we definitely want to boundary dispute our father. So we're going to do that, and we are going to start boundary disputing, and we are going to boundary dispute Judean would be fine. No, not execute the scheme. Oh, this is a magistracy of Alexandretta. Okay, whatever. This is going to be this up over here. This is not what I intended to do, but I guess it's fine. So we'll do that for now. It's going to be a bit of border gory, but this is already border gory, so it seems okay. We are going to bring in this lady, bringing our phase duration down to minimum. So now it doesn't matter who else we bring in. Let's go for a decent intermediary here. Yeah, this is all absolutely fine. Wait. He's going to help us take his territory? Well, okay then. That's odd. I didn't expect him to do that. But sure. So I'm wondering if we can ask him to give us territory with the request as househead. We can't do that for 4 more years. So that's understood, and we need to keep in mind there's only so long before this game ends, right? So there's that. Let's launch an investigation right on down over here. We don't need to hire anybody for this. This is fine. Okay, so down we go, and what do we got here? 85%. Done. Excellent. We can also take a stewardship perk here, or actually, this is a learning perk. We'll take scientific is irrelevant at this point to the game. Let's go for, like, open-minded. That seems fine. Okay, so we've arrived back again. There's a shadow over Aleppo. We will summon the physician. And I absolutely do want to go after this guy. Maybe we can't because it was just recently granted. I think there might be a cooldown on that, now that I think about it. So we're building this scheme very quickly, and that's absolutely fine. Now that we're a kingdom level, what's our administration type? We are administrative, yeah, but are we still of the... Hang on, let's go in here. We're still of the frontier type. Okay, just wanted to double check that. So that looks good. So that means we can expand out this way if we wanted to. Great Hospital has been constructed. Not that we can do much with that. So we're not making much money right now. We need to get a lot of this territory taken back, right? So we can extort subjects. We should absolutely do so. Why take a little when we can take a lot? And we absolutely want to do that. Okay, I want to check up here. This should have updated now. So we're at 821. If we influence this, this is saying 35. Okay, sure. So we can bump this up to 841, and then we can bump it up to... Oh, this is the province of Euphrates. Hang on. This is what we want. Okay, so we're going to do that. So that puts us in line. Our emperor is still at war at this point, so we can't do anything there. I'm just wondering if we want to run a depose scheme. This is a political scheme. He is not in an entrenched regency. Let's wait for this Liberty War to end, and we should definitely execute this scheme. Okay, so Alexandretta is ours. That's perfect. We can hold this ourselves. There's no problem with that. That'll boost up our income somewhat, which will be absolutely great. So we can definitely build like water mills up here. That'll be fine. Okay, so I'm guessing we probably cannot do another boundary dispute with this guy. Yeah, that's for a while. Ooh, and he just got Tiberius. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for us. Now, this is still within our house. He's not going to be happy about that boundary dispute, of course. We could compel his resignation. But there's no House Zadoki member here. So what I'd really like to do is get ourselves into this position. So this would be for the province of Thessaly, sure. But honestly, what I want to go for is Palmyra. We can't make this guy be our vassal, can we? We should be able to, but if we were a feudal lord, we'd be able to. But I'm not sure if we can make him our vassal. That would be interesting. Regardless, we could influence the candidacy of ourselves for one of these, but we're going to have a minus 1,000 penalty to this, right? So if we wanted to go for, say, Palmyra here, that's going to be a bit of a problem for us. And I don't even know where this is. In here? Well, we have a press claim on the province of Palestine. But I want to influence candidacy of ourselves. So that would be... Let's see here. Where's us? Here's us. And then for the province of Palmyra, yeah, 448. We're at minus 1,000 because we're already a governor. So what we'd need to do is subsume the governorship or get him to be our vassal in some way. So is there a way to do that now that we outrank him? Maybe. Because if we could do that, then that would be huge. That'd be largely fine. Although there's still a big problem of our liege holding this. So that would be an issue. We're waiting for our liege's current war to end. That's going to be a significant thing. So that'll end eventually. We're at minus 81 right now. We might get... Hang on. He just granted this out. Okay, so we can't subsume this governorship because we don't actually border it, because our father holds all of this for some reason. I don't know what that reason is, honestly. I don't know why this was granted to him. It's very strange. But okay, so what can we do about this? We can't request as a house head until like right before the end of the game. What is the actual end date of CK3 again? I forget. Let me check here. CK3 end date. 1453. Okay, beautiful. That's absolutely fine then. What's going on here? Why is it so smoky? We can lose some stress, probably. Okay, no one leaves. Perfect. So that's fine. Now, we got to do something about our father here. If we can just make him be our vassal, then that's great. So I was thinking that this ended in 1421 for some reason. I think I was thinking about the Europa end date of 1821. That's probably what I was thinking. But no, it ends in 1456. So that's fine. We can do that. The Europa start date is, I believe, 1451. And I usually end in 1451 for mega campaigns for the purposes of carrying it over. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Oh, our father is currently dying. Honestly, this is fine. If he dies, that's not the worst thing in the world. So let's see what happens with that. That's going to hurt our house's position, for sure. But we've got some work to do to bring ourselves back up, right? So this is definitely a little awkward, no doubt about it, but it's not the end of the world. We can do this. So I want to check up over here. Are these constructions completed? No. We do need to build here. And we do hold this territory up over here, so we can build in these areas. For example, we could build here. And I'm going to do that for now. There's also constructions that we can do down over this way, and I think it's good to do these investments. So we'll definitely work on that. Okay, I feel a lot better about this now that I've realized that it's 1451. Yes, this is fine. Our liege's war is about to end. It is now over. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to check in here and ask him to declare us co-emperor. He will currently decline this, but... Hello. Okay. He will do this for 500 influence. That is worth it. Okay. We are now co-emperor of the Byzantine Empire. Excellent. Ah, recognition. Okay, so we're in a Doomvirate at this point. And my question is, now, do we have any options here? Well, not currently. What about over here? Co-Emperor revoke title. Okay, so we need the scales of power to be swung up here, which we should definitely do. We'll swing the scales here, leveraging probably piety. There we go. We'll bump that up. And we should keep the opinion of the emperor pretty high up, so we'll do that. So we're essentially a more powerful regent at this point. And if we look at this, we can see we are the co-emperor, scales of power, incumbent co-emperor. That's giving us a lot of boosts. So that looks great. We should be able to get the Byzantine Empire if we can get rid of Theodotos II. But for the time being, this suits our purposes. So what I want to do is, honestly, if our father dies, that's not the end of the world right now. Oh, hey. We just got an achievement. As co-emperor, rule a despotate. Cool. So that's a thing. But yeah, if our father dies, this isn't the worst thing, because we can start taking all of this back at that point. That would be the idea, and we do this governorship by governorship via subsumation. That's the idea, anyway. So we'd be able to take this back pretty quickly. Hang on, what just happened? We just became the culture head of the Hebrew culture. Ah, this was because our father did indeed die. So this didn't split up as much as I'd hoped it would, but we can come in here and we can subsume a governorship, and the governorship that we would like to subsume would be Erdun. That'll open us up the most opportunities, I think. We can't do this because we are the co-emperor? Really? Co-emperors can't subsume governorships? That's kind of wild. Well, what can we do about this guy then? I'm wondering if we can influence candidacy here. Co-emperors are 50% more efficient to do that. Okay. But I don't think we're in this line of succession as it is. What about Palestine? We have a claim on this, a strong claim. So if we were to influence our own succession here, this would be 400. Yeah, so we're still at negative 1,000 for that. So co-emperors can't do subsumed governorship. Can they do boundary disputes? Our governorship must border their province. Yeah, we can do boundary disputes. So in that case, we would probably go for Tiberius. So this would be on the magistracy of Tiberius right here. And we don't really care about any of this. We can bring people in very quickly in theory, and we can get this done incredibly fast. So yeah, that's already as good as it gets, and people are very willing to do this. We're very powerful, and people are like, yeah, I'll sign on to help you. Great. So that's going to open us up some options. But lack of being able to subsume governorship does make me sad. So this will open us up to be able to go after Lebanon and after Palestine. And then maybe we step down as co-emperor, to be honest. Or we depose the current emperor. That's an option as well. I was hoping that we'd be able to do co-emperor revoke title. We can't do that yet. And I don't know if we can grant titles. I don't think we can at this time. We would need to be the actual emperor. This is basically just a fancier regent. And I didn't realize that. I thought that this would be a little bit more powerful than this, but this is good to know. Okay. So this is fine for now. We'll get Tiberius, and we can grab a perk here. We'll take War Profiteer. That seems great. And our total levies are not fantastic right now. That's understood. We're actually able to increase the size of some of these, which I'm interested in doing. There we go. And grant vassal. Who is this? Lebanon. Oh, the emperor wants to give us Lebanon as our vassal. Done. We absolutely accept that. Okay, pays 900 gold to the emperor. This is a 50-50. Done. The governor remained steadfast. Well, we tried. So this is going to open us up access to Jerusalem. So that looks good. And the emperor gave us Beirut. I'm wondering if we can petition him to give us additional vassals. That might be something that we can do. So we'll keep that in mind. But getting us Beirut is definitely a step in the right direction. So at this point, we are at 87 on this. And if we bump this up, this would be 5% bonus to 92. Okay, let's just give this a couple more days here. There we go. Now we're good to go. Wow, we were at 95% and we failed that. That's insane. So we can't boundary dispute again. And we can't do this because the title must de jure neighbor one of our realm counties, and we are the co-emperor. So being the co-emperor turns off the ability to subsume governorship. That is good to know. I don't suppose that we have a way to step down as co-emperor. I feel like we should. Is that maybe a decision? We could retire from governorship, but that would be not what we want. Yeah, I don't think that's really an option. Interesting. So that failure caused us problems. I'm wondering if maybe we can do this navally? No, we can't access any of those. So that failure actually hindered us a lot. Because we can't do another boundary dispute for a number of years here. So that's very awkward. I would really like to get this guy to be our... Well, I'd really like to subsume his governorship. That would be ideal. But I wouldn't necessarily want to gain the province of Thessaly. It would be anything down over here. Basically, what we need to do... Well, we can expand up over this way. We can subsume the governorship of Aleppo if we could subsume governorships. But what we can do is we can boundary dispute Aleppo, and we can at least work on that. So we can expand up this direction and we can continue to work down this way as cooldowns allow us. But that 5% failure, that really hurt. We needed that. So that was painful. At this point, we're going to definitely get this done very, very quickly. We're going to have to spend very little resources on any of these, so this is fine. We're going to get our realm put back together. Beautiful. So we'll hold Aleppo up here, and that will give us, in theory, the province up here. I wonder if the co-emperor can create titles. Actually, we can check that. So the duchy title here... no, it's not destroyed right now. We'll have to take this over first. Then we can find it out. So he wants to grant us Aleppo as our vassal. Well, okay then. So that's a little awkward. We no longer need this. But that then means that we can go after, like, this guy up over here. So I think that costed us 150 prestige, but it's okay. So at this point, we can continue to work on this. That'll be wonderful. We don't really need anybody here, but this is fine. And this is all absolutely okay. We're just looking for freebies at this point. Cool. So we'll put in this person. There we go. And that should go nice and quick. So we'll get that going, and of course, there's these duchies under us right now. So this is a duchy-level vassal at this point, and we want to make sure that they're on relatively de jure lines. So we can grant this duchy, or rather, grant this duke the vassals that are down over here. So that would be... I wish we could do multiple at a time, but we can grant him these. They're de jure his, so we'll do that for now. There you go, buddy. Okay. Hopefully he'll be less angry. Becomes our rival? A chance of becoming our friend? Sure, we'll give it a go. He was not impressed. Okay, that's fine. So, what do we got going on here? 67% chance of the Emperor getting some gold. Cool. We just reached a new level of power. So, let's see what that unlocked for us. We can attempt to revoke titles from other vassals. We can try to retract vassals below their tier from other vassals. We can request to adjust the liege's imperial bureaucracy. And we're 75% more efficient to promote for administrative offices. Okay. So that sounds good. So at this point, we cannot revoke administrative titles. Okay. There's a 0% chance, so that's noted. That's fine for now. So we do need a new spy master. That will be this guy, and that seems okay. So we're going to have this very, very soon. And that's just a singular county, right? Actually, yeah. That's just that singular county. So that looks good. We'll have that very, very soon. I'd really love it if he'd give us Thessaly. That would be absolutely ideal. Shift privileges, huh? Okay. Well, for the time being, we're just going to continue to work on putting this back together. It's fine. We're in a better position anyway. He wants us to go to war for this. Transfers a Byzantine army to us under our command. Okay, we'll accept this. But we're losing the Byzantine Empire? Who passed us? What a jerk. Let's work on slandering this guy. Oh, that's a political scheme. Never mind. I keep forgetting that that's not a personal scheme. We can boost our power base here, but we can probably also continue to influence this. Yeah, we can bring this up by 87 for only 225. Done. I'm not sure that actually did anything. Actually, this war would be over. Cool. So that seems okay. Yeah, I don't think that promoting our candidacy here actually did anything. I'm pretty sure it didn't. So that's a little awkward. We could work on expanding our power base, but that's also a political scheme. So what we really need to do is we need to get this guy out of Thessaly. That's what we really need to do. Or at least get him over to being our vassal. That said, we can execute this scheme, which we're going to do. And we succeeded that one. Okay, so we got Raqqa. Yeah, there's a couple more counties here. That's okay. We will hold this ourselves for the time being. So up over here, we can definitely do an investment, and that looks good. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we've got Thessaly absolutely in our sights. We're going to be able to do this in 4 years. That's going to be painful, trying to get Thessaly under control. Yeah, we're going to need to do some subsumed governorships, which basically means that we're going to need to make some changes here. So I'm just checking in here. We can demand our own kingdom tier governorship. Okay, we already have one of those. Okay. Well, we'll continue to work on this anyway. If we can become the top liege, that would be ideal. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.